Today we're going to talk about ADHD and bedtime. Does your child become suddenly a chatterbox when it's time to go to bed? They talk about something that happened 3 days ago, or they talk about something really exciting coming up, or a very big idea that they are having. And this is the time where you are feeling tired, exhausted, where you want them to go to bed so you can go to bed and have rest. When my son was a child, our bedtime routine was our bonding time. We would pick a story together and then we start reading it. We talk about different things in the story, and then I will give him some time afterwards to talk about different things. And we move sometimes and shift from a topic to another, and then I will wish him a good night and go to bed. But parents of ADHD kids, do you think I had it easy? Definitely not. Bedtime routine was a battle for me. Taking my kid to bed was a battle to me, and it was a battle and it was draining as well. We had a strict bedtime routine, which my kid never followed. Certain days, yeah, because he was very tired. Other days, no, it was not possible. One day I was drained, I was overwhelmed, and I was thinking, not again. I'm going to go through the bedtime routine again. This is when it hit me. If I am the adult and I am thinking and feeling the way I'm feeling, drained, overwhelmed, tired, then how is my child is feeling every night before bed? And this is where I had this small shift in my behavior, where I thought I need to change the bedtime battle. I need to change it to be something different. I need to shift it to be something completely different. And this is when I started to introduce a few things into the bedtime routine that could remove the fight and the battle. So before I start talking about the tips and the things that I used to reduce the bedtime battle, I'm going to talk about why this is happening for ADHD kids. Why for them bedtime is the time where they will remember everything that they had all day to remember. It's because the ADHD brain is overstimulated during the day. There is a school, there is all the activities that they do in the school, there is leaving school and coming home, playing video games, doing other games, and then all the activities that they do before they even go to bed. And then when the time comes for them to go to bed, this is the time where it's very quiet for them. Their brain is no longer overstimulated. And this is where they feel it's the right time for them to start talking about whatever they are thinking of, because they are literally distracted all day long with all of different stimulation that's happening during their day. We will talk later about boundaries and how you set boundaries, but let's talk about a few tips. So what I worked on with my son, and it's really worked for both of us, is when it's bedtime, I will let him choose the story. We will read the story together. Then we will talk about the story if he feels that he wants to talk about the story. I will allow him to talk about another couple of topics for 3 to 5 minutes, and then I will wish him good night and go to bed. But how did I do all this? So I will let him choose the story time. I will not make the room bright. I will have a dim light. I will read the story with them. If they feel they want to read the story alone, they can, and then we can discuss things or talk about things. If they don't feel that they want to do a story on that day, you know what? It is fine. Find something else. Talk about things. There are lots and lots of topics you can talk about with your kids. And I will say one last tip: do not be rigid with the bedtime routine. It's important to be consistent, but not important to be very rigid. The rigid you are, the more rigid your kid will be. The flexible you are, the more flexible your kid is going to be. So try to set boundaries, but do not be very rigid. Do I have a bedtime routine? Yes, of course I do have a bedtime routine. Were there days where my son tried to push those boundaries and prolonged the bedtime routine? Yes, he did. What did I do at that time? I allowed him for a few extra minutes. Bedtime does not need to be a battle, especially on the night when I knew my son is overstimulated and he is not being emotionally regulated. So I know if I became rigid on that day, the fight will begin and the battle will begin. So I would choose and pick which days I will say, no, that's it. We've done our routine and this is time to sleep, that's it. Or there are other days where I know very well, and we all, parents of ADHD kids, we know those days very well. We know when our kids are emotionally dysregulated. Try to be a bit flexible. It's very important to set up healthy boundaries, but at the same time, try to understand this is life. Your kid will have good days, but they will also have bad days, like us adults. We will have good days and we will have bad days. And we will, on bad days, we change our routine sometimes and we want to do different things to feel good about ourselves. Towards sleep and bedtime routine. Looking back, some of my favorite times were the time when we had our conversation during bedtime. We bonded, we laughed, we talked about so many topics, and that was the time I knew my kid and how he thinks. So instead of seeing it as a battle, try to see it as it's time for connection. And you know what? One positive thing at bedtime for our kids can outright all of the negative things that they had all day. And those few minutes can maybe become the most precious part of your time with your kid.